action-packed racing for you guys in the F1 Divisional 2 series of our F1 series. As far as what we're going to be racing at tonight, we're going to be racing at Bahrain. Joining me up in the booth tonight will be yours truly, Jake, aka we also got Mr. Hex in the booth. Hex, do you have anything you want to say?
It's going to be an exciting race here in Bahrain. Expect some great overtaking action here in F1 tonight.
Okay, now how do I do a spectator again in this game? It's
Triangle.
okay. Thank you,
Triangle.
thank you. Well, as far as what went down, as far as what happened, of course, not to mention this though, is that I believe it was the first race of the new season for you guys. I believe they ran. Where did you guys run last week?
Monza, Italy.
Monza, Italy, and of course that race was being won by TT Vigo Boom, who last week won back to back, and of course both of our double headers, and of course tonight we're racing at Baron. Uh, Now, of course, obviously we had the team standings and of course the point standings. Hex, I know you got them up, so the floor is yours.
So Aston Martin will lead with 29 points and Mercedes in second with 18, Alpha and third with 15. Those are your top three. And, your top three from last race, obviously, Go Boom, who finished first, who had a great battle with Mason, who finished second, and Ray Ray with Alpine, who finished in third. Expect some of those guys to be up at the front, maybe competing for the win today in Bahrain.
I'm hearing some echoes from the stream. Is that your end?
Yes, I had it up. That's on me.
You're good. You're good. But one thing about it, though is that, of course, we have a lot to look forward to as we get ourselves prepared for a great night at Bahrain. Now, of course, Hex, you have raced at this track, so obviously you know how special it is to race here. So tell us, what is the viewers going to be expecting here tonight?
I expect a very interesting. Uh, well, when I raced it in Division One, it was very interesting in towards the race. Obviously, we had that big incident with Jackson and Useless as a cat, where it led to Jackson and I believe Useless also got suspended for a race. Expect some. This is a great place for overtaking. You got the two DRS zones in the front and the back straight. Prime overtaking, or I'm sorry, three DRS zones. So overtaking will be available at this track at all times.
Yeah, very well said. Of course, something we all will get ready to look forward to as we have qualifying slowly approaching upon us. And once when we do, we get a chance to do that, we'll see what type of difference this track's going to make us. Obviously, the type of strategy is will these drivers do good run on mediums? I mean, if you're in the box, I mean, what would you tell your driver as far as the strategy that they're going to have to make here?
There's two different strategies you can run, and it's how you feel on each tire compound. For last race when I raced at Bahrain, it was a medium soft for me. Obviously, we did have those. I believe it was two safety cars to the end, so it made it easier. But for my testing, it was you can do a medium soft, but obviously you do have the other option where you can go hard, medium, medium hard, somewhere along the lines of there. So it's depending on how these guys are going to feel on what they like each tire wise. Because I know a lot of guys like the hards, a lot of guys don't like the hards. It's all about how you feel comfortable each compound.
And not to mention this though is that Hex, obviously we have some new drivers that I have not seen. Of course, that being in old number seven, Ray Ray, and of course PNW. Do you know anything about these drivers?
Well, old number seven used to race NASCAR for a lot of leagues. I've raced him a couple times in other leagues. I've not raced him here recently. He's pretty quick around, you know, up into the points running. Ray, he's up there. Obviously, he got the podium last week for Alpine, so he's obviously up there. And J01 is just Paul Walker Supra, and he's shown he can have some pace at times, but a little lackluster. But maybe he'll have a great day uh, here in Bahrain.
And now, as far as what we're seeing, this though is that the teams being Mike G, old number seven, and Williams. Obviously, we had Big Jim and Ball Stick in Red Bull, Ray Ray and Furchinator in Alpine, and of course Team Air Jordan Q Ball in the Alfa Romeo. Look like Masopes and Freedom Flyer in the Mercedes, and of course Riley and Paul Walker in the Haas. Now, as far as what we could be seeing here tonight, what which team is the one that's going to keep pretty much that one team that you're going to keep your eye on the most?
I think it has to be Mercedes. Mason had a really strong showing, and Freedom always has the pace, but he never can really finish towards the end of it. But if he puts up a great weekend, he'll end up towards the front, and I think that's the team you have to watch for. And also, I think obviously Red Bull too. Jim's had some pace, Ball Sticks had some pace at a lot of tracks, and is this going to be the weekend for them to go out and get a double podium, maybe?
And maybe so. And of course, the one team I'm gonna have to keep an eye on is the team of Furch and Ray Ray. I mean, I never. Last time I would seen Furch, he gets spun around a lot, but I do believe that they have a lot to prove here tonight. Not to mention this though is that the very interesting team of our broadcasting for Division One, being Ballstick and Big Jim working together in the Red Bull. So a lot to look forward to here tonight as we are slowly getting ready to approach the qualifying. We cannot wait to see how things go. I believe we are. I don't know if we're missing some drivers. I don't know what's going on here. Do
I
you have any
believe we're
update?
missing a couple.
Yeah, I believe so. We are definitely missing a couple for sure. And of course, not to mention this though, is that while you guys are watching this live, please make sure to subscribe because we have more racing coming up tomorrow night as far as the NASCAR side of things. We have the Cup Series at Auto Club, and of course, we are right back here as far as the F1 side of things. Division 1, I believe they're in Bahrain as well. So, doubleheader tomorrow night. I believe that starts at around 7, maybe 7:30 ish Eastern Time. So, make sure you guys subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any HPL action racing. And of course, one thing I'm excited about is that this is my first time in a while since I got a chance to call an F1 race. And Hex, I'm glad that you're with me because you know a thing or two as far as what we can expect here tonight, and of course, what can we expect as far as qualifying. Now, do you believe that these drivers are going to have to try to work some of the tires out, see which one they like, and may end up helping them out as far as their first run of the race?
I think the question for them is the strategy, obviously. Are they going to commit to using two sets of sauce? Because you have three available to use and a medium set you can use in qualifying. So are they going to use all three sets in qualifying and maybe go on to the harder into the race? Or are they going to use two and commit to maybe a medium soft into the race? It's how these guys want to play it, and obviously how they, like I've said earlier previously, it's how they feel on each tire compound because the it definitely could throw you off if you're on the C3 where maybe you don't like it.
Yeah, I definitely do agree for sure. As we're still waiting on some drivers to get a chance to join us, and hopefully they will slowly but surely, as we are slowly approaching up to the qualifying here in the F1 series. If you guys are just now tuning in, now let me ask you this though, and this is going to be a very interesting pick. It's going to be a very tough pick, but who is your race? Who's your pick to win the race tonight?
You know, I just seen that Riley are used to, like, he raced in Division One last season, and I believe he's still rostered in Division One. So I think that's gonna be the obvious pick for me. And he won a race last season in Division One at this track, so I think he's got to be the pick for me.
Yeah, I definitely do agree for sure. As far as the one driver I do believe that will get a chance to win here tonight, I'm gonna have to go with Masopes on this one. Masopes, he's running very very good. I am very very excited about that, and I can't wait as we're getting closer to the green flag here as far as qualifying is concerned. As yep, we're getting ready to head over to qualifying in just about less than 20 seconds, so we ain't gotta waste time for long. Any final thoughts before we head out to the racetrack?
Um, Let's just hope we see some great overtaking action and great racing.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. I definitely do agree. As we less than 2 seconds away, make sure you guys have plenty of time to grab your snack, grab some popcorn, because we're ready to do some short qualifying. This will determine our field for tonight's race here at Bahrain.
Also check Joker's message in
I already did.
chat.
I
All right,
already,
just making sure.
yeah, yeah. Joker's been helping me out as far as a lot of things here tonight. Which, by the way, shout out to Joker because without him, I wouldn't be as good as I am. So shout out to Joker for helping me out. 20 seconds. The anticipation's getting ready to be fun because there's some of these guys I'm so used to seeing as far as the NASCAR side of things. But excuse me, as we get a chance to see them driving in the F1 side of things. So cannot wait for that, and we'll see how it goes. We're heading down to the racetrack right now. Alrighty. So they will. So it looks like Jay's going to end up starting things off on mediums, as we see
You might.
here. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was to say, as you see the timer here on the left side of your screen, that is how much time these drivers have for them to make their qualifying run to be able to get a chance to fix their adjustments. Go ahead there, Hex.
I believe Jay will be committing to a different strategy than a lot of people using the mediums first. But if a safety car comes out in the middle of the race, as he will be making his way to the track now, along with Haas, both Haas cars making it out.
It feels weird seeing Riley in a Haas for sure.
Used to him being in a Williams, as he owns Williams, so it's definitely a different sight.
Not to mention that, also Red Bull at 1.2. As you do see, as far as our telemetry here, movement, freedom, both Haas cars are in their outlap. So you best believe that Riley's trying to set his tires warmed up, especially since we're in the desert here. You best believe you want to get a chance to try to warm those tires up before you get ready to make your first lap here.
Yeah, it's just all about not overcooking those tires on the outlap, so you can have a pretty nice and tidy quali lap.
Yeah, one thing's for sure is as we're seeing a couple of drivers. I think uh, Terrace is making a joke about that for him to put intermediates on, but I don't see why he would want to. Now,
It's part of those, pro drivers do it so they save all their tires, so they don't use an extra set of mediums or an extra set of softs, so they can set a banker lap. So as we're seeing more and more cars come out.
yeah, we definitely are for sure. As we're seeing many more cars, I think we're adding golf data to this. Kyle, old number, and of course with Soaps being out as well.
So Riley will start his lap here, see what he will do as the benchmark for everyone else in the session.
First driver to get a chance to start his lap. Also, definitely need to get his lap data up. There we see it, right there in the. I think that's the 11 machine of Riley.
Uh, Look like a nice and tidy first corner, what you want to do because it will set you up for that second DRS straight.
As we see it now, as far as out of all three sectors, which one's going to be the most dangerous one for these drivers here?
It depends on all your setup, but I believe that's going to be sector 3 towards the end of sector 2 around there because when you get into it, it's very hard on the tires. If you're running higher tire pressures, it can overheat those tires. So it's about keeping those tire temps cool and keeping the car on the tarmac.
Very, very well said. Very well said. As we're watching or not Joker, but Riley coming through the final time. We'll see what type of lap he's got. It's going to be probably maybe a 116, 117. I don't know. Probably about at least
Well, that
probably
would be
about
a world record.
yeah, yeah for
It's
sure.
gonna be it's gonna be around the 130s, 129s. Those are where lap times are, and it will be a 130
130,
flat.
140,
Pretty good lap time, as movement will be pretty close behind.
131, and of course Freedom right
Freedom,
there,
freedom within
two
two
tenths.
thousandths, 2 thousandths. That's great pace from him. As I think the next guy on a lap is the red, or no, I believe it's a Ferrari. Maybe I'm wrong.
We'll have to see here as these drivers are slowing up in here in sector one. That's why I see it. I think
I
Riley's
think it
gonna
is
list.
Furch. Sorry for cutting you off there.
Yeah, yeah, you good. Let's go ahead and get to first right there. Yeah, you can see him. He's slowing down just a little bit, but he realized he's gonna have to go and start his lap.
He will start his lap. See what he can do.
Golf Daddy with a 140.8.
Probably messed up on his lap a lot. Oh,
Oh,
number
and
7, 5 tenths, and Big Jim disqualified from the
disqualified.
session. I believe he probably spun on pit exit. I think that's what happened, or maybe he was slow letting everyone by. Not exactly
But
sure what happened there.
Bobby Love taking over the first place spot as we see both him and Masopes in the 129s. But of course, Bobby Love with a 129.5, Masopes at 129.7. Team Air Jordan with a 133, and of course, Kyle 18 fan and with a 132.
Those are some pretty good lap times. Those are midfield and D1, so they're bringing their pace today. A game.
Yeah, they definitely are bringing their pace in for sure. We'll definitely have to
I
see as
believe
we're. Go ahead.
the Ferrari of King Mufasa will just set his benchmark time, obviously on Inter, so it's not going to be anything too quick. And Ballstick will be the next in line, though, to set a lap.
Yeah, Ballstick is currently up in the as far as going to the front stretch, gonna be getting a 133.8. He'll be in ninth, as we are less
And
than. Go ahead.
Furch will just knock him out into P10 as Furch goes P9.
And of course, Terrorist right there with a 135.8. Something that he's doing is he's trying to save all of his tires, which is a very very bold strategy, but a very good one at that. Like Hex mentioned, as we're coming down less than a minute, 11 minutes until we get a chance to go green lights out on the way here at Bahrain. If you guys are just now joining in, we have Hex and myself calling all the action-packed racing here tonight. 11 minutes left in qualifying. So far, Bobby Love is your pole sitter with Mike G right behind him too. The Williams are taking over this qualifying session.
Very quick time from those guys. Well, I don't think we expected those guys to be up at the front, but hey, you never know in F1. It gets a very track by track thing, and I think these guys have their setup dialed in.
I definitely do believe. I do believe Mike G will probably end up just going back to the pits because he is currently. I don't know if he's slow or at the moment, but also Cue Ball fan out on his out lap. I believe he is a Ferrari. No, it's just the Alfa Romeo. My apologies.
Sorry to cut you off, but Ray and the other Alpine just went fastest in Sector 2, so he could have a lap that's up there.
Yeah, so as he's getting ready to approach to the huge front stretch here at Bahrain. 10 minutes
He'll get a
left
nice
in.
little slipstream from the Aston Martin ahead, and just
Oh, 2 tenths, I believe, to try to get a chance to pass Masopes for third place. But a very good start for Ray Ray.
this is a nice little benchmark time, and it's going to help you set up for the rest of the session.
A little glimpse of what we shall see here tonight at Bahrain. Coming up with less than 9 minutes left in this qualifying session. Um, very, very exciting race as we are slowly approaching away. and as these drivers are going to be slowing down in sectors 1 to 3, which is it's going to be very expected. As we get a chance to check out Color, who hasn't made his lap time in yet. Once again, guys, for those who have not made their time in, they will be stuck to the back, having to start from the back. If you're a cue ball fan and if you're a Color, as Color will be starting his lap time now.
Let's go ahead and take a lap with him and see how he does in turn 1, and nice and tidy through there. That's what you want. Coming here into turn 2 and 3, very stable. It's looking like a nice car for him. Might be what you want in those couple corners. Coming down into turn 4 at the end of this DRS straight, an amazing turn in there. That looks pretty nice and tidy. And through these S sections, it's very tricky to get this right. And he will use up a pretty good amount of the curb on the exit. Coming down here and a little tight and a
Ooh,
little snap of oversteer. It's not going to hurt the lap time too much. Coming down into the hairpin, turn 10. It's very easy to get this wrong onto the third DRS straight. You want to get a nice run through here, and it looks like he does get that nice run through. Coming down here into turn 11. It's a very part where the car can get very snappy. You want the most amount of mechanical grip you can get through here. And I believe he just went fastest in Sector 2, and Riley will improve
Riley!
to a 29.4. Pretty nice and tidy lap there. See what Color can do here. Coming down into the final corner. Very nice and tidy. It's not going to use a lot of the exit curbing. What will this lap time be? That will be P5. It's pretty nice and tidy lap. That is.
Knocking Ray out of the top 5, and the only driver that has not made his lap time in is Q-Ball fan into Alfa Romeo. But like Hex mentioned, the Haas of Riley 29.4, and that is the fastest we've seen. And of course, we could expect other faster lap times during this race, as we're winding down less than 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in this qualifying session.
Jay was on a lap in here in Sector 2. Let's see if he can improve on what he did in that banker on the mediums. Coming into turn 12. It's like I said, it's very possible for the car to have a snappy amount of oversteer. He kind of lets off a little, so maybe not feeling the setup too much. And, oh, you can see a little snap there. It's very easy to have a big snap. Coming down in the final corner. Again, small snap, so it looks like his car, he's fighting it. He's just fighting the setup. Be P6, though, with the 29.9. Pretty good lap.
Very good lap for sure. So far, your top 5 in this qualifying session that has a chance to have a great run. Riley in first, as he will retire from session as he should, but because he don't think anybody's going to catch up to his lap. Uh, Bobby Love in second, Mike G third, Masopes fourth, Color in fifth. That was right now our top 5. And of course, Jay in sixth, Ray seventh, Freedom Flyer in eighth, Movement ninth, and of course, rounding out the top 10 will be Kyle 18 fan.
Pretty close lap times here, especially up at the front. And those, I believe, the top 11 is all within a second of each other, if I'm doing the math correct. So it'd be a very close race.
What else? I have to take a look as far as that.
I believe Mike G. Slow, so he might be aborting a lap he was on. Wonder if anyone else who might be on a lap. I believe Kyle Fan and the Aston Martin's on a lap.
I believe so.
Coming down into turn 10. Does he get nice and tidy? It looks like he gets it just right. Comes to the inside of the track. And Bad thing about doing that is you can get marbles on the tires and, it can help make you lose grip into a corner like this, and see, just gets the snap of oversteer. It's not going to help the car. Might help you rotate a little, but might also put you in the wall and out of the session.
As he approaching, get ready to approach up to this, to the final turn right here. Going up to the straight stretch, he could end up having a. Let's see here. No, he's going to go straight down to the pits and Kyle 18 fan.
I'm trying to see who else might be on a lap, and I think Freedom just started his in the turn 2 and 3 right now. Coming down to turn 4. He's going to use all of the track he possibly can. It's just using every little bit, and that's what you want to do, is extend the track as much as you can, use every little bit. It's going to help you gain time, and right now he's currently about a tenth and a half up on his time, and looks like he had a little moment maybe locking up. Not entirely sure. Coming down into turn 10, and looks like he just gets that right pretty well. Nice amount of turn in. Looks like a nice and tidy lap he can have here.
That looks to be
And
really
using
good.
them out. Yeah, pretty nice and tidy lap. What you want to see from Freedom Flyer out here. Very good through there. It's 2/10 up. He's getting a lot of time. That would currently put him around P6, P7. Come down into the final turn. Gets a nice amount of rotation into the car. What will this time be? It will be a P4. He gained another 10th. Fastest Sector 3 out of anybody. As I think everyone will now be coming out on a final run, including his teammate Mason, just exiting the pits now.
Yeah, less than 2 minutes here in the qualifying session.
I believe the McLaren exiting the pits just put too much into the tires and spun it. Might have damaged those rear tires, which not something you want to do.
And the only McLaren in this race, I believe, is color, isn't it?
I do believe so. I don't know who might be rostered in the other one. I think that seat might be open. I don't think anyone might be on an outlap except Ballstick, so let's see if he improves from that 132. And no, I think he's peering off into the pits.
I'm going to check out Freedom Fly real quick as far as where he's out on the track. Less than a minute left here in the in the qualifying. Then after that, I don't believe there's going to be any. Oh Lord, what is it called? I don't believe that they'll be warming up their tires. I believe we'll get ready to go straight down to the left to the race, and we'll get us up and going.
Might be a formation lap. I'm not entirely sure if they turn that back on. So I think Mason will be starting his final run along with Kyle 18 fan. I got a couple guys out there. Just see if anyone can possibly beat Riley, who went out of the session just to conserve, I believe, his last set of tires out here.
And as the clock is winding down, and it is official for the drivers who are out, such as Soaps, Color, Kyle 18 fans, gonna in his session, and he's going to end up starting in 11th. Movement is still out there. Ray Ray's out there. King Mufasa is out there. Teammate Jordan out there as well as Gary. Gary has not even made his third lap yet. We're gonna keep an eye on Gary going through the sector 2, going into sector 3.
Looks nice and tidy through there. Obviously, he will only be using one set, so him and Big Jim will have the biggest tire advantage, but obviously Jim with the biggest tire advantage will have the biggest position disadvantage out here. And Gary will set a P7 time currently. Will anyone beat that? Color will not. He will dive into the pits. Mason currently about 4 tenths up on his lap. Him and Terrace are the only two to go on our lap. Speaking of which, movement up into P4. And Mason
Just a
sticks it
fast
on
lap!
pole. Sticks it on pole.
Oh my
Three
gosh.
tenths quicker than Riley.
129.1. Wow.
That's a pretty mega lap from Mason. That's up there in D1 times, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and pretty mega lap from Mason.
But that'll do it for us. The qualifying, we now know who is our pole sitter and Mason with a 129.1. As you see, as far as who will be starting on our official start of the race, Soap's going to be starting on the tires. Jay had to work well with some mediums and two softs as we get ready for what shall be a very exciting race. Uh, I want to say this before we do go green. What is something that are you expecting from these drivers as we're approaching less than 10 seconds left there, Hex?
You know, I think I know what strategy Riley's going to do on Mason. I'm not entirely sure, so I think it's going to be a strategy battle between those two. So we've seen those are the fastest, but will those Williams guys who are under employment of Riley race Riley any different? Or are they going to race him hard and make him earn any position he might want?
We'll definitely have to see as we're ready to approach the race time. And it's about time too. This shall be a very exciting race, very fun race, and we're happy that you guys are with us. Make sure you guys share this so that your friends, family, anyone will not miss out on some exciting action-packed racing as we get ready to approach to the Bahrain Grand Prix.
So you're told not to ready up immediately so everyone can get their strategy in, which is very well called. And it's very annoying when you're trying to get a strategy in and someone readies up early and screws everything up.
I definitely do agree with you more. All right, we're still waiting as we're get ready to start. What a miss.
uh, Apparently, no one believes movement is behind the wheel of that AlphaTauri being in, I believe it was P5. So they're saying it's Killer XL. I wonder if, let's see if it truly is movement, because if it is, might wreck out quick. But maybe movement's just him.
Movement may be him for sure.
Oh, it might not be movement. It might be Killer as we get ready here for formation lap. So see what everyone is on here in tires. This is. Would you want to take it on a rundown, or would you like me to do that?
I'll let you run down as far as what we're seeing from the drivers here. But tell us about what is this as far as the formation lap is concerned.
It's the formation lap is just to get everything warmed up, your engine, your brakes, your tires, and going down to the tires. It's the front two are on mediums, Mason and Riley, and Both Williams are on softs. Movement and Freedom are on mediums. Gary goes on to the hards. Color and KU on softs. Jay on the hards. Ray, Kyle, Team Air Jordan, Terrace, Ballstick, and Furch on the mediums. Golf Daddy on softs. And Big Jim on the hards. Uh, it is. I just had the possible race strategies pop up, and those believed on mediums might be going to a medium hard, and those on starting on softs might be going to a soft medium. I doubt that's the case, but who knows? Maybe we'll see a 7-stop race out here.
Definitely do agree. Definitely do agree. As from what we're gonna be seeing here, we're glad that you're with us here tonight as we get ready to approach to 29 awesome laps, 29 exciting laps here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be fun. I cannot wait as far as what we can expect here tonight.
So, who are you going to be looking at in this opening stint to make some
Honest,
big moves?
well, real quick though, there's your possible race strategies, like you mentioned. It does for those from the mediums, may go to hards, and of course, maybe from those who go to the softs, maybe go to mediums and hards. I definitely do believe that the one job I'm gonna keep an eye on is look at the Williams. Williams are 3 and 4. They have their work cut out for them as far as both Mason and Riley. As I believe Baran must have lit up some fireworks. Oh, Riley's
Ooh.
disqualified from the session.
It's just the parking thing, so he will be reset in his parking position. So will Movement and Freedom, and Mason is taking a very defensive line. He's looking to cut off Riley from making a big move. But I do agree, those Williams are on those softs for a reason, and I think they're going to be trying to make big moves to take the handle of this race. And
Alrighty.
it's lights
Price?
out. And
Lights
Mason
out.
gets a pretty good getaway. And the Williams of mold number 7 and Mike G are making the moves down here into turn 1. They take advantage. Is
Oh,
there going to be any
contact!
room? A little bit of contact, and looks like everyone gets through pretty nice and tidy.
Oh man, this is gonna be a very fun one already. Riley's down to 5th. Oh, contact being made on with the Freedom, I
Ooh.
believe.
Freedom gets the elbows out, but I think Riley might be trying to make a move here. Will he look to the inside? He won't. Might be trying to pull a contact behind from the McLaren. The McLaren just
Oh.
sent it in way too deep, and he's going to lose some time.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, big
Big,
wreck!
big
Oh
wreck!
my! What happened? That's going to be a safety car.
Safety
I
car.
don't think it's a VSC for the moment, but
Yes, it
no
is.
way that's not anything big.
That
But
is.
somehow KU has no front wing damage. He might have side pod and underfloor, but Go Boom, that was
Oh my
that was
gosh.
insane. It looking back at the replay that I can pull up on the stream, it looks like uh, Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo
I'll
just got
say.
hooked into each other, so nothing you can really do about that.
How do you pull up the replay?
I was just watching the stream and I went back in
Oh,
time.
okay. Alrighty. That was just really crazy right there. I
And
believe.
they're going green racing again as old number 7 is, or I'm not old, excuse me, Mike G is right on the rear of Mason. Will he make a move here into turn 1? Gaining, and he's just going to wait.
He's gonna wait patiently.
Let's see. Freedom, Riley has lost a pretty big amount of time being P2, and Freedom looking down the inside on the Williams. It's going to be tight and close. Will he get the move done? No, he won't.
No, even not.
And it looks like
And
Freedom does get the
Freedom,
move that time. What a move.
good move, but yet Bobby Love's still right there, side by
It's
side.
not over just yet. He might pull a switchback. Will he? Not quite. You can see the Williams being able to drive it in so much closer. And Mike G is not extremely gaining on Mason, but Mason's not pulling away too much either. But Freedom is losing time to Mike G in P3 currently. as Paul Walker Super will be looking to make a quick move on movement or killer if that's the case. And it looks like he will get the move nice and done here as DRS will be enabled this lap. And oh, contact behind those two. As I believe someone just lost their front wing.
I believe so. DRS is enabled.
So will Mike G make a move here into turn 4 with the DRS? Will Mason go defensive or will he let him by? And I don't think the gap's going to be big enough. It's not going to be big enough here. But old number 7 will make a move on Freedom. Does he get it done nice and clear? He will. So we've seen some big position changes as both Williams will move up, I believe, 2 positions.
And oh, go!
Oh, I
Good
think Riley tried
save.
to make a move.
That wasn't Riley. I think that was Team Air Jordan.
Oh, you were looking at the back.
Yeah, I was looking in the back. I think that's on Team Air
Ooh.
Jordan. He got
Yeah,
loose.
he is fighting that car. You can see it on the exit there. He was just fighting it. Struggling here. As Mason has brought the gap away from Mike G. So I wonder if being far behind
Oh,
and
first
Furch has
Schneider.
just spun the car into there, and not what you want to see.
Soaps with a
Mike G though
133.4.
back within a second. As Gary will make a move on a movement, or if that is killer. I guess we'll find out sooner or later.
Yeah, Cuba fan. Here comes Freedom Flyer. Passes Bobby Love right there.
Oh, and he just gets loose. Riley might have a go at him now. And Riley will make him. Nah, he just backs out of it.
Figures he might have the run to do so, but that is not the case.
As Mason has got a pretty commanding lead over Mike G. I think Mike G might be running less
Oh,
downforce than
Riley!
Mason.
Something happened to Riley there. Literally, his car stopped right there at the end of the turn. Oh, going to be made. Oh, killer! Or who was that?
Oh, King Mufasa maybe. I think it was. I think something happened to him.
He got loose right there at the end of that turn right there. Whew. So far, we're just 5 laps into this race. Only one virtual safety car.
Mason's got a pretty commanding lead. I think he's just going to be trying to save, not overcook the tires and his own engine here, and just keep it nice and tidy, and he should be off here.
Yeah, Riley moves up a spot on fourth on Bobby Love.
I think these guys on the softs, they might be feeling the pain a little bit being behind these guys and it being in a hot and dry desert here in Sakir.
It could be the case.
Oh, Riley
Oh, he's
just went on
loose.
board with him.
Yeah, we'll see if he's gonna struggle right here, and yeah, you can tell he's definitely gonna end up struggling right here. Oh, looks like we got something going on in two.
It is
Golf
Golf
Daddy.
Daddy. Just probably lost the rear there. As Freedom makes a pretty good move into, I believe that's turn 13. Pretty nice move. And you can see, like I said, these softs are just feeling the pressure. They're not happy.
Definitely not happy for sure.
these sauces are just going to end up like a bowl of macaroni being sat out for a while. It's just not going to look the way you want it to look, but maybe Mike G might look up on the inside again and he just won't.
He's not gonna quit. That's something I can say. He won't give up.
His freedom, though, is having to harvest the battery. Will he make a move here or sit behind? He'll just sit behind. I think he knows. I think he knows the tires are pretty. Oh, freedom. I think is lagging a little. Don't know if stream caught that.
Yeah, I think the stream did.
So I gotta ask you, Jake, who do you think's in a great position here to really come out in great positions? I guess I just used the same word twice, but who do you think's in the best opportune place to come out great in this race?
Freedom. Freedom's definitely got himself a really good spot. He's definitely taking advantage of it. He's working really good, and it doesn't really surprise me there. I'm really glad to see that Freedom's up there, up in the top two with his teammate and Soaps.
I think for me it's got to be Gary. You know, he's on those hard tires. Who he might be able to go to a soft towards the end or the medium, depending on what Mason and Freedom and Riley decide to do. I think I like his position here, and he's gaining. Excuse me, he's gaining on Mike G pretty rapidly as those softs are just continuing to go off a cliff.
Yeah, definitely doing great for sure.
Ooh. Mason just making it look like 2020 with Mercedes dominance as Freedom being in second and Riley kind of like Max Verstappen just there. He wants to make a move on it, but it's just sitting behind.
That's all I can really do. As so far, oh, Freedom
Oh,
gets loose.
free!
He,
Did he get loose?
he got loose.
He got
He
loose, and again, just not what you want to see. But back in seven, so he's not too out of it. But like I said, he's gonna have to harvest that battery as Ray will look towards the inside here into turn 11 and 12. Freedom's definitely he's not gonna be too happy with that, but he might be able to get the position back. It's gonna be nice and tight through here, and just not what you want to see. And this is what, like I said at the beginning of the race, Freedom, he's quick, but he makes these errors you just don't want to see in a driver.
Not to mention this though, that does put Riley back up in P2 as we see Gary battle on by G. Now Gary can
And he,
focus on Riley here.
yeah, I think these hards are in a great position. And Gary, who finished P2 in the championship, you know he's hungry, you know he wants it, and he's going to come out and prove to everyone why he should have won that championship last season.
He's gonna prove it for sure. It doesn't really surprise me as far as what he can do.
His car looks pretty nice and tidy. I think those hards are coming to him, and I think now we're seeing the mediums. And Riley, just takes a wide line through there.
Riley with a very interesting line here.
Spurch will get a 3-second time penalty for track extensions. Then I believe Furch just spun again, so that's the flag on sector 1.
Yeah, that definitely is the flag right there in sector 1.
So we see Gary just gaining and gaining on Riley. Will he make a move here? If he's close enough, he might look at one. Say he's close enough. Oh, but a snap there. Not going to help him.
Mm-mm. Not gonna help him. Not the slightest a bit.
So we'll have to hold on just a little bit. But there's the Williams of Bobby Love will have to defend from Jay, and who's on those same hard tires that Gary's on. Wonder if those are doing Jay some favors as Gary gets by Riley in a pretty good position.
Not really surprised there, especially with how good we've seen from Gary. Gary's moving up all the way up to second.
But will Riley fight it back? He has the DRS. This looks like a caution has come out for somebody towards the back. Not exactly sure what happened. It doesn't look like Riley will get him back through that DRS zone, but will he be close enough on the front stretch? Riley just struggling with the front tires and very understeered through there.
Definitely interesting to say the least, especially if you're Riley, as we're less than 11 laps left to here. Or, sorry, no. Yeah, it should be 11 laps, ain't it? No,
As
19
we'll see
laps.
Mike G and Ray Ray pit. So Mike G, I wonder what he'll be going on to. It looks like he will be going to the mediums, and Ray Ray will be going to the hards. So two differing strategies here for those two.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. As far as looking at the top 10, top 11, still out on their tires here with Mason spending 9 laps in his mediums. Gary, 9 laps in the hards. And Riley, yeah, 9 laps on the mediums.
And Mason, I don't think has to really worry about the pressure from behind being undercut here. He's got an over second or 7 second gap here to P2, so he can just cruise and focus on what he needs to work on.
As
So
he
we'll see
definitely will.
Freedom Flyer back in P5. But Jay might be looking to the inside. Will he get it? Not quite, but I believe he'll have the DRS, and he will.
He's definitely going to for sure.
He's coming, gaining, and he'll be ahead, but Freedom fighting back on the outside. He'll have the DRS for the next corner, so if he could stay to the inside, he's in great position here. And gives elbows are out a little bit. As, again, seeing a great battle here. Jay, just not enough. As Riley and Gary are continuing to fight again.
Riley and Gary have been fighting over the last 2 laps now.
It's just continuing to lose more time as we're seeing. Might as well just call him what it is, Lewis Hamilton here in P1. Just continuing to create a gap.
Okay, yep, thank you. Alright. Looks like we have a battle here for, I believe, for fifth. Looks like we got Team Air Jordan, Jay, and Freedom.
And looks like Jay is just trying to get by Freedom, and Freedom's just doing what he can to defend it. That was a pretty smart move, letting Jay send it towards the inside here. He's got a pretty good gap on this front stretch, so it should be pretty easily defended. As Jay will he'll look towards the inside, but nothing will be doing.
Oh, He's right there.
Gets a little loose. This
Oh,
looks like the McLaren. It's a
McLaren color.
VSC, so
Virtual safety car's out.
just a VSC for the moment. I believe that's for Golf Daddy and also the McLaren who spun.
Yeah, color.
So it's just going to slow the pace down, help these guys cool down the tires and recharge what little battery they do have. As Golf Daddy will get a speeding in the pit lane penalty. Will any of the top guys be able to make it back before the VSC will end and maybe dive into the pits, put on some fresh rubber, and get going?
That's going to be a very interesting one, but we'll have to wait and see.
Will Mason do it? And Mason will stay out. What about Riley? Movement
Oh,
has a
movement.
drive-through penalty. Not what you want to see. Did Mike G get a penalty too?
No, I don't think he did.
Mike G did get a penalty, a drive-through along with movement for speeding under the safety car. Actually going to put a dagger into what he had hoped to be a great race. As Freedom and Jay again fighting. Jay towards the inside gives Freedom a little shove. Freedom will make it through. But Jay will again be on the attack here. He's just gaining. Got the traction on those mediums. Looking towards the inside. And Freedom will just hang on. Pretty great battle we're seeing there. It looks like Gary's dropped 3 seconds to Riley. So I wonder if something big happened there.
That's what I'm thinking about myself.
But currently, right now, we're just seeing Freedom doing everything he can to keep Jay behind. Just using every last ounce he has in that tire life and battery. He's got to defend. And Air Jordan's behind, just waiting for maybe these two to collide.
I think that's exactly what we're seeing.
Just going to use the battery he has on the back straight. Coming back onto the front stretch, it looks like old number 7 will be dropping into the pits, seeing what tire he might go on there. As Jay will again get by Freedom, but oh, did they play a little bit of DRS chicken?
Oh, that's a good question.
And it looks like Freedom does get the DRS, so it's not going to work out for Jay. Just not what you want to see from Jay. He's had a great car here fighting Freedom, but not able to get it done.
So far, we've only seen only 1 through 8 who has not made a stop yet. Still out on 13 laps of tires here.
Movement and Mike G will still have to serve those drive-throughs, so essentially those two were in terrible positions given what has happened. And looking on Movement, he's really struggling. And Color sets the fastest lap of the race currently with a 1:32.3. Looks like Jay falls out of that second gap, so he might not get DRS on the main straight, but right behind him is Team Air Jordan. As Mason will dive into the pits. So will Riley.
Will Gary join him? No, he will not.
Gary will stay out currently. Mason will go on to the hards. What will Riley do? Will he do opposite of what Mason did? Riley will also go on the hards. So where does that put Mason out on track? That puts him P5. 5. Riley will be behind the Red Bull of Jim, and Mike G just, ever since he got that drive-through, not having the best days, getting a 5-second penalty there.
Definitely not having the best run. Definitely not having the best time, to say the least.
So Riley will have to fight through Ray Ray and Big Jim here, assuming Big Jim doesn't pit here soon to get rid of those old mediums. So right now, Mason just continuing to do what he can with that gap, but he might have to fight through Team Air Jordan because he's gaining a pretty big amount of time through those guys ahead of him.
Yeah, as we're seeing so far, what we're seeing back to the race here as we're seeing quite a bit of strategies, especially if you're Gary, who is currently leading this race by quite a few. As we go in and look for some battles going on. Seems like everybody's kind of separated except for I believe there's some cars going on.
Just the kind of 1 second gaps between Jay, Freedom, and Team Air Jordan, as Team Air Jordan will make his way into the pit. So now it leaves just Jay and Freedom closest on track. And Mason right behind those guys, just doing what he can to make time here.
That's all I can really do at this very moment.
Looks like Jay's gained more time back on Freedom, so could see a battle closing up between those guys as Freedom is just Freedom and King Mufasa are the oldest mediums out there, with Jay and Gary being the oldest hards, all being within 15 laps.
Yeah, something I have to keep an eye on as far as that's starting to see a little bit of a gap there between uh, Jay and Freedom and Masopes here, as the top three are the only drivers that have used their tires the longest between Gary, Freedom, and Jay.
Yeah, so the question is Jay going to fight Mason here? Is he going to kind of let him go? But it doesn't look like there's going to be too much fighting going on between those two, as Jay will get passed here by Mason, but will Jay fight back with DRS?
That's
As
big.
Freedom looks like he's pitting, and Mason gets the DRS from Freedom, so it's not going to be too worrisome here. As Gary also comes in on mediums. Freedom will be going on to the hard tire.
As we see Mason going back to the lead here, as we are approaching up to get ready to be 3 laps shy of 9 to go. As we do see a was that Furch? That's
It
Furch.
was Furch. Furch be spinning.
Furch be spinning
So we're
every
seeing a
time.
battle. Looks like Riley and Ray Ray are pretty close together. Riley makes a pretty. Looks like he tried to make a lunge to the inside on Ray Ray, but nothing doing. Riley looking to try and get by Ray pretty quick, and I believe Ray probably will be going to the end on these hards. Just not able to make a move just yet, as Mason will be continuing to build his gap. And Furch will get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits, and he will just retire the car into the pit lane. As Riley does get ahead of Ray Ray there.
as we are keeping an eye on
Will
this.
Ray Ray
So
be able to fight back with anything he has? Doesn't look like it. So next closest battle looks like to be Mike G and Team Air Jordan. As movement will be the only guy to be testing out the soft strategy here. See if it pays out for him in the long run.
definitely should, from what I'm seeing.
Big Jim looking to make a move on KU, and he will get the job done. Up into P10, the last point. Paying position. As a J just continuing to extend what he has left on those hard tires. He more than likely might be looking to go soft towards the end. Just making everything he possibly can last. Those tires have to be crying for help.
Gotta be doing something here.
Might be hoping for a safety car so he can go onto a soft tire, because I believe he didn't use all 3 sets he had. As Riley will be gaining time, so being teammates, I believe Jay will more than likely let Riley by.
10 laps to, yeah, 10 laps to go here.
So, yeah, Jay will just let Riley go here and continue what the battle. Maybe Riley can gain on Mason and do something here. As Gary is gaining on Bobby Love in P5. As Jay will now come onto the pit. Let's see what tire he will box for. He is going on the red mark soft tire, so let's see if he can gain the time he will lose staying out. As he'll drop down to P9. Very quiet race we're having here. Nothing too big besides what happened between Kyle 18 fan and I believe it was KU in the Alpha. As movement will go fastest currently on track. Jay makes a quick move to get past Mike G, so onwards he'll be going to hopefully set his fastest lap of the race.
A lot to look forward to, especially when it comes to Riley and Soaps. Let's see what these guys can do.
Gap looks to be saying the same, but Gary chasing down Bobby Love here. So that could be a close battle. This is going to be pretty intense. Oh, Gary does get a little tight. Gets oversteery. Not what you want to see.
No.
So Gary might be looking to make a quick move on old number 7. He's gaining with the DRS, and he'll be up and through. But old number 7 making a quick
Okay.
move to the outside.
Alright. Yeah, I gotcha. Alright, let's go ahead and find. Yep. Between Gary and
Gary
Gary
will get.
and
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Say Gary's gonna try to stay up front here with Bobby Love right behind him.
Movement again sets the fastest lap of the race with a 32.0. Golf Daddy will pick up, I believe that's his second penalty of the night.
Looks like we got a lot of things going on down here. As there's a battle for seventh place going on. Golf Daddy gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane.
He might be retiring the car, or it could just be going on softs to set a fastest lap. Don't know. But Jay is gaining pretty quick on Team Air Jordan with these fresh soft tires.
Yeah, so you're watching it right now. We'll see if he's got enough to be able to get a chance to pass him.
You can see those softs just have so much more grip than the hard tires coming through that turn right there. Final turn. See Will Jay doing what he can to gain, and looking for the move. He will get it done as Team Air
Beautiful.
Jordan just backs out of it.
Phenomenal turn, phenomenal time for Team Air Jordan. As definitely need to get back to the battle going on. I think we see, I don't know if it's, no, it's not Freedom.
Air Jordan's not done just yet, though. Gary's trying to make up the amount of time he can do here.
Oh.
Jim trying to get quick by Mike G for P9 to get another point in the Drivers' Championship here. Jim on fresher medium tires, so it should be quickly done here for him, assuming Mike G doesn't give him some great defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised as far as what Mike G can do. I mean, he's been solid here tonight. But look at Big Jim going to the outside.
Jim gets the move done here. Will Mike G fight it back, though? He's very right on his rear. He might be able to fight it back, and just car was just not happy being right behind him, though, and he's just not gonna fight it. But Gary right on the rear of Ray for the last podium position, and Ray's gonna defend to the inside. Gary's got the speed. Will he get by and clear him? He will.
Whoa.
So Gary now is on his chase for Riley. He's got 6 seconds to make up on Riley, so it's going to be a tough ask for him, but he might be able to go and do it.
Ray's trying to slowly catch up to him.
Ray might be trying to make a move back. He might not be done. Does he have enough, though? And it doesn't look like he has enough to get him here into turn 1. He's looking, might be trying to look for an inside move. He does look, but he doesn't go for anything here. Is Mason just continuing to build that lead he has in first place right now?
Oh, looks like I saw a little glitch right there. I don't know what it was.
Ray's still within the DRS of Gary, so he's not out of the fight just yet. As Mike G is still also within the DRS of Jim, so again, he's not giving up.
No, he's definitely not giving up for sure. I wouldn't even expect him to.
Here with 5 laps remaining, looks like Mason does have a pretty commanding lead, but Ray might be looking back down the inside. Does he get it? He does. He will also get the DRS. It's
Oh,
very tight
Gary's
between
still
those
there.
two. It's not over just yet. Gary probably thought he was in the clear, but Ray is fighting back to the inside. Gary just gets a little tight on the exit. It's going to be a nice tight battle here through the S's. Gary just gets back through. This is for the last podium position here.
Yeah. 5 laps to go. It's time by here at Bahrain.
Ray's just giving everything he can. He's making Gary work for it. As we see, Mike G does get back past Big Jim for P9, but Jim gives him the old switcheroo. And Jim gets back on through, so wonder if that's gonna... Doesn't look like it's gonna be the end of that, though. Looks like Ray might have one more shot at it here for Gary. And again, playing DRS chicken, just not wanting Gary to get the DRS.
Come up to 4 to go.
He's just gonna be right on the rear. He's gonna make another move, maybe no. He's just gonna wait on behind, possibly waiting for his opportunity to make one last ditch effort.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see here.
It's that battle between Jim and Mike G is still going on. It's like Mike G might just let him through that part, save the end of his race, so he doesn't get any big incidents. This color will set the new fastest lap of the race with a 31.8.
So what it says, we're pretty much got 3 laps to go. They see how fast Masopes is. 8 seconds, I believe.
I think it's just a waiting game for Ray. He's waiting for his moment so he can pounce on Gary. Maybe waiting for Gary to make a huge mistake so he can jump in and retake P3. Ray will not be able to make a move through any of the DRS straights there. Caution in sector 2. I believe that's just the lap car of Golf Daddy getting out of the way.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, for those that would be a lap down, he would end up being invisible, wouldn't he?
Yeah, ghosting is on, so wouldn't affect them in any contact way, but could affect them in the sense of giving people dirty air.
That would definitely be the case for sure.
I'll be surprised. I'm kind of surprised Ray Ray has been able to stick within Gary, given he's have 7 lap older hard tires. But Gary, will he go defensive? No. Ray Ray ends up. Ooh, I don't know who gets the DRS here. If it's Gary or going to be Ray Ray.
I think that's going to be.
Neither of them gets it.
Neither, no.
Wow, kind of surprised that neither of them got it. Yeah, I've never seen that happen before.
I don't think I have either.
Again, it's just not over yet. Gary's given everything he's got to defend, as Ray Ray's just given everything he's got to attack and overtake Gary. Oh, but he gets loose there, and I think that's going to be possibly the bid to all in there, as he's got about 3 laps somewhere around there to fight it off. Don't think he's done yet.
No, I don't think he is.
He is putting these hard tires to work. He's putting that Alpine and that Renault engine to work.
As we're approaching to the final lap of the race.
One more lap of racing. This is it for Ray Ray. Will he just make a one last descent as he gets loose? But Freedom overtakes for P5. Freedom, after that big mistake he had, will go back up into P5 here. And Ray Ray again just gets really loose and oversteered, trying to overdrive the car. And I think that's the end of it for Ray Ray. I don't think he's going to be able to get back in the battle with Gary.
And pretty
Question
much.
is old.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I wonder if old number 7, Bobby Love, might be able to make another ditch effort towards Freedom Flyer for a P5. I don't think he will be able to. I think that's the end of his day for the P5 bid.
That will definitely do it, as Masopes will win
Mason
the race.
Gets redemption for what happened at Monza. Riley will come across the line to finish P2, and I guess he crashes it across the line, and Gary fends off the valiant battle of Ray Ray, gets P3, and Ray Ray P4. Freedom, after having a big mistake towards the beginning of the race, will come back and fight for P5. And good old Bobby Love for P6. Jay will finish P7. Team Air Jordan with P8. Big Jim looks like he's going to come across the line, finish P9. And Mike G will finish P10 to round off the points positions.
That will definitely do it. Man, that was a very, very fun race. Very chaotic race, to say the least. But however, though, Masopes with a dominating win at its best. Your podium is Mason, Riley, and Gary. Congratulations to the top 3, followed by Ray Ray in 4th, Freedom Flyer in 5th, Bobby Love in 6th, Jay in 7th, Team Air Jordan in 8th. As this race actually gave me a trophy. Thank you for that. I literally just got a trophy.
I will invite everyone for their interview.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get a chance to have our top 3 in here. All right, as we're being joined by Gary. All righty, let's go ahead and get a chance to talk to good old Gary first. Gary, you got a copy, buddy? Gary?
Sorry, controller.
Hello?
I'm here. I'm here. Controller
Okay,
died.
you're good. All right, well, first of all, I want to say congratulations on finishing a really awesome top three finish. It wasn't easy, but take us through your race and talk about that battle that you had with Ray Ray.
So I started on the hard tires, hoping for a safety car late so I can jump to the softs, but that didn't happen. So I kind of had to tough it out with the mediums. When I came out of the pits and I was like maybe fifth or sixth or seventh, somewhere in there, I'm thinking, no way everybody jumped me that bad when I was on hards. And then, I forget who pit. I think it was, PWNJ pitted, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I knew there was other hard runner with me. I didn't know who it was. But, yeah, I drove pretty much through back up to third where I was. Because, usually when...
Did his controller die again?
I believe so. Might be just fixing that up real quick.
I was totally zoned out. I don't even know what the hell happened, to be honest with you. All I know is that I finished third.
Well, after some of the technical issues that you're having, definitely a congratulations is for sure. Uh, Hex, you have anything you want to say to Gary?
You know, you got by Riley pretty quick, or not Riley, or you got by Ray Ray pretty quick when you went on to those medium tires, but he was continuing to battle back with you and put the pressure on you. Did you at any point really feel that pressure and say, hey, he might end up getting this P3, or were you able to defend with ease, I guess is the best way to put it?
Um, I'll tell you what, Ray Ray gave me a ride of my life for the last like 4 laps of the race. Because the medium started to give away on me, and I'm like, okay, I'm losing my grip, can't put the power down, so this is going to be interesting. So I kind of just played DRS, chicken with him, and played the ERS game. Saved a little bit to when I got out of his range, and I was like, alright, just dump the ERS and hold, and you'll be good. Just don't spin. But yeah, it was fun battling Ray Ray.
Very well said.
Well,
Alrighty. Well, after that, we'll go ahead and go to Riley. Riley, you got a copy, buddy. Well, first of
uh,
all, congratulations on finishing second. Talk about the up and down race you've had. We've seen you had a brutal start, to say the least. You know, you pretty much went from second down to fifth. You had to work your way up to second. Take us through what happened as far as your point of view of the race. Yeah, very well. Alrighty, we'll let you go to Hex on that one there. Hex.
Now I gotta ask you a couple questions. The first one being, it's like you said, you had a pretty, rough start. The Williams, the people you employ starting on softs getting by you pretty quick. Were you gonna race them any differently, knowing, they need the points for maybe the constructors championship, or were you gonna race them like you don't know them?
Oh yeah.
And
Very
the second question I have is, seems like you've ruffled some feathers tonight. Any words for those guys?
well.
All right.
Alrighty, and of course, last but certainly not least, we got to talk to our race winner, Mus Soaps. Mus Soaps, are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, I want to say congratulations. You dominating from the start to the finish. Talk about the strategy that you made at the start, and of course, what helped you end up coming home with this win.
Just pace, you know. I got a really good launch from the start. I angled my car towards Riley because I thought maybe he would have a really good start too, but he ended up disqualifying himself, or else I think that race could have gone really, really different um, if he were able to get off the line correctly when that happened. But and no, I mean whoever was on softs, I think it was the Williams drivers. I don't know what they were cooking. I mean it's Bahrain. It's the highest degrading track of tire probably out there, and just not a smart decision to go on those softs unless there's maybe like 5, 6 laps in the race. So um, yeah, I don't know. I think I had a really really good drive, but at the same time, I think a lot of people in D2 made wrong decisions tonight.
Very well said. Very well said. All right, we'll let you talk to good old Hex here, and Hex, take it away, bud.
It was a pretty commanding race, and being in a Mercedes, it felt very reminiscent of 2020 through 2014 Mercedes dominance. Did you feel at all like Lewis Hamilton out there, and sipping a cup of tea and just listening to music like Ghost did at I think it was Texas yesterday, a
Yeah,
couple
I
days ago.
mean, when I said last week after Monza and losing to Go Boom, with 2 laps to go, I felt like I had the best car at Monza. I didn't like pull away from the field like something crazy like I did here, but that has a lot to do with it. Losing like that, like finishing second, doing everything you can, and still coming up short. That had a lot to do with why the amount of time I won tonight. I put in a lot of good laps for this race, and it paid off.
Well said. Um,
But yeah, I definitely felt like Lewis Hamilton. Yeah.
And one more question. It's the same thing I asked Riley. It seems like you've ruffled a couple people's feathers. So how does that make you feel? And any comment for those guys out there?
I mean, the Ferrari owner can say whatever he wants to say, but unfortunately, his driver was on AI for 2 whole laps, so I think that might be why he wasn't up there. I mean, like Gary's good, and there's no question about that. I think Gary has really good pace, and he probably made some wrong decisions tonight, or maybe just didn't have the pace that we expected him to have at one track. But like this just doesn't mean the championship's over because somebody won by 8 or 9 seconds. Like I said, I lost by 1/10 last week and got passed with 2 laps to go. And if people think that that didn't encourage me to go and sweat everything I had into this race to prove that, then they're crazy because that's exactly what happened.
Very well said. Very well said. Well, now we get a chance to ask you guys your final thoughts about this race, and of course your thoughts going into next week's race, which will be the Chinese Grand Prix. First, I'm gonna start off with Gary. Gary, do you have any final thoughts and any thoughts about next week's race?
First of all, this was actually my last D2 race here because I have other stuff I have to take care of on Wednesday. So the only time you will see me is Thursdays if a spot opens. But I haven't ran any laps at China at all, so I better get to work. That's all I gotta say.
Alrighty, Riley, do you have any final thoughts about this race, and of course your thoughts about the Chinese Grand Prix next week? Alrighty, and so same thing for you. Any final thoughts about tonight's race, and of course your thoughts about next week's race?
I mean, yeah, I haven't put in a single lap for Shanghai, so I have to do that. And yeah, like I said, just a really, really good drive for myself tonight.
Very well said. Well, we'll let you gentlemen go. You guys have a great night, and once again, congratulations, Miss Hopes. As he quickly dipped. Uh, Hex, we've seen so much. We've seen dominance at its best from Soaps. Take us through your thoughts about tonight's race, and what can we expect in the Chinese Grand Prix next week?
Well, it's like they were talking about. Gary says he might not be able to race. Riley, way he's talking, might not race in D2 next week, and I'm not entirely sure about Mason, so we'll see about that. So it could be a very interesting race. feathers were ruffled tonight, so it could be motivation for others and a downfall for the rest.
Very well said. Very well said. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for our coverage of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night as we have a doubleheader as we go live from Auto Club in the Cup Series and, of course, the Divisional One in the Bahrain Grand Prix. But for all of us here in the HBO booth, for Hex, I'm Jake saying so long, and for us D2, we'll see you guys next week at Shanghai and the Chinese Grand Prix.